Morning, folks. Got a shave soap this morning. Came to me, by the way, with Stephen Sprague. I also got a stick form. Also, this one here is called White Star, and I'll have a link down below. Hendrix Classics is the one that has it. And this is what the White Star looks like in a stick form. Also comes in a puck form, which relatively inexpensive. I think it starts out around $4.50. I think the puck is $5.50, maybe $6. I think it is. Got it whipped up here in a mug here. It's soft enough where you can press it down in there and fits just in there perfectly for me. This one here is a vintage mug, and this one here is made by McCoy, and you can kind of see what it looks like there. But it fit just perfect in there, so this is the mug I chose to use it in. Got it whipped up here with a ever-ready brush by the way of Heritage Collection. It's got a badger knot in it, fan knot. Whipped up just fine. I'll put a link down below for, like I say, for this stuff if you want to go check it out. I've already put a hot towel to the face this morning, and pre-shave oil this morning. Still using the sweet orange, and it's by the way of Maggard's. Shaver of the day. It's got a little bit of history, but anyhow, I saw a few days back, saw Rusty's video and decided it's probably a good idea to break this one back out. I've got a Star single edge razor here, and it has a gem Teflon coated blade in it. This will be about the third shave with this particular blade. Go ahead and wet the face, get started here. The history with Star, in case some of you may be unfamiliar, Star, Everready, and Gem, at some point in time through the history, they were all kind of separate, and eventually they all became one company, American Safety Razor. And so just to kind of give you a little bit of history about all that, the story also, it continues on, but it's quite a bit of a history between these three companies and how they come together and how things just kind of took off from there over the years. And eventually, I think, to a degree, then of course, the blades, razor blades, as well as the razors themselves, just kind of took off and went on, made some great shavers. For instance, if you're familiar with another single edge shaver called Pal, made blades as well as razors, and in other words, inject-o-matic, and also they had an adjustable. But they had quite a few razors made over the time. This particular one here, this razor, as goes for the angle. The way I kind of look at it, especially for somebody starting out with this one here, Jim, one of the products they made as a way of razors was Micromatics, the open comb, the clog proof, and also the flying wing. Flying wing had what they referred to as a guiding eye, and it would have been about right in the center of the cap, and that was just to give somebody an idea where to, you might say, try to put that angle at. And the way I look at it for this one here might be a good place to start, as it goes for where your angle should be at. It's just one of those things about this particular razor that you can ride pretty much almost flat on the cap, or just raise it up just a bit in order to get a smooth shave. As it goes for blades for these, for me, the blades I found that give me the smoothest shave is Gem, the Teflon coated ones, PTF, and sometimes you might see the labeling of Persona on there also. The other one would be a Treat Super. They usually come in like a green and yellow package, cardboard, if you will. And then there's the, I think it's called Silver Star, Blue Star. I can't remember exactly what the naming convention is. They'll come in a plastic dispenser. But it also just depends on what your accustomed to feeling on your face. There is a little bit of a feedback on here. It does how can you say, echo? You can hear it. To me, this thing is kind of cool, but it's just the nature of the way this is designed. I do enjoy using it from time to time. There's a, if you find that the Ever Ready, the Gem, the Star, if it's a little too much blade feel for you, too aggressive, there is one that you're probably going to have to pay just a bit for. If I'm pronouncing this right, it's called Damascene. It looks very similar to the Star, the Ever Ready, the Gem, Junior, and all that sort of thing, that whole lineup of razors. It looks very similar to it, except for it'll say Damascene, and the cap is just slightly different. And as goes for looks, and it has more of an arch to it. And that particular single edge, I find is a little bit smoother, less blade feel. Some of you might enjoy that one more so, but typically, not always, but typically when you go to find it, it'll run you a few bucks. In other words, it's not quite as cheap maybe as a Star or Ever Ready or anything quite like that. And if you've looked at these before, they come with different handles. This one here, I guess you might say it's more the straightforward standard type handle. It'll come some with, some decorations on it, some with lines on it. It just really depends on what was being made at the time for the particular razor. And if you find a Damascene in a, find one in a case, yeah, you're definitely going to pay a little bit more, but to me, cases are pretty cool to have. To me, it tells more about the history of what was going on at the time. Sometimes it kind of gives you a clue of what they thought about their product when they put it in a container. Some of the lining inside, in other words, the color would be purple or red. Really nice colors, in other words. As you can tell, soap's working out pretty well. I enjoy the budget type soap. It works well for me. I would compare this, in other words, as it goes for quality, right there where it should be. At this price point, it's kind of hard to beat. The only other, there's Arco is one that comes to mind as it goes for a price point. In other words, being right around the $5 mark. Just depends on where you're shopping, where you're buying it at. But Arco, in my opinion, is a pretty decent soap at that price point. But if you're like a lot of other people, Arco scent is not appealing to the nose. So White Star comes in, I think, 4 different flavors. I'm trying to remember for sure. I think it's 4. It might be 5. I think one of them is unscented. And you can also not only get this in puck form and also the stick form, but also they have a White Star aftershave balm. And might be worth taking a peek at. I say I'll have a link down below. It's always great to find budget-minded stuff that works well. For me, one of the, and I did get one, matter of fact, that stick that I was showing you is the Florida Chill. So in other words, there's one that's mentholated. I think there's a barbershop scent. I remember right, there's an unscented one, and the other one I think is out of stock. Can't remember what the name is right offhand. It's one that I'm interested in. I think it's like got bourbon in the name or something like that, whiskey type. whenever he gets in stock, I'll be definitely getting some of that. Oh, and I should say, both the puck and the stick come wrapped just like I showed you on the stick. I don't find that this star is that aggressive. There's a blade feel. Like I say, for some folks that might be a little unnerving hearing that kind of feedback if you're not accustomed to it. I don't find that it's that aggressive. I don't, in other words, the Gem Micromatics in between the open comb and the clog proof, excuse me, I don't think as near as aggressive as either one of those. But it's just the blade feel, and you hear the feedback, and for some people that might be just a bit much. I guess you might say just to be able to hear that audio feedback might, if they're not used to it, they may not like that too much. Might think that there's actually something wrong. And that's just the way it's made. My face feels wonderful. Matter of fact, it's very efficient for me. I mean, that third pass was just to pick up whatever was left over. There wasn't a whole lot left. A very easy, quick and easy type shave for me. Every once in a while I'll get a little bit of stinging when I use these style razors, usually on the neck. And I think it might just be me, because it's always on the same side, right through there. Always on the same side, pretty much generally in the same spot. So I think it's just the way I'm shaving, getting some pressure off or something like that. But it's nothing major. I don't have any weepers or anything like that. Witch hazel. This one here is unscented, but it is mentholated. And the aftershave, I don't think this aftershave I'm getting ready to use is in stock at the moment at Strike Gold Shave. You might be able to find it at another location in stock, but it is the Haberdasher scent. And I'll have a link down, not only just a link, but also I'll have the scent description better than what my memory will be able to bring to it. I can bring out of my brain this morning. This one here, excuse me, it is a pretty nice scent. That's what the restrictor looks like. Now, it is plastic. It is put in there, so if you like a little bit more of an opening, you can just pop that out. Otherwise, you'll have to give it a good shake in order to get some out, which for some folks, that's not a bad thing. This is a pretty nice scent, though. I would call it a manly scent. This is, yeah, in my opinion, this is definitely a manly scent. I don't think this is a cologne scent. It might be, but if it is, it's definitely manly. It's not bright. It's a little bit on the deep side. Boy, I like it. Matter of fact, I've used a good part of it. No more what I've used. Smelling good today. Hope everybody's doing well. Today is Monday. I know in some places we're getting rain, storms, and whatnot. I think our temperature, the high, what was it yesterday, like 95, and today is supposed to be 75 or something of the sort. But anyway, wild weather, of course. Everybody stay healthy, stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.